All right, welcome back to another edition of Neo News Network. Since I've been doing these little videos, we've been talking about Donald Trump and Kamala Harris and 2024 election, but specifically in regard to Kamala, a lot of the talk has been about polls or what is her path to victory, or who should she pick as her VP. And I thought I'd just take a moment and just talk about some of her policies. Where does she come from? What is her ideological framework? We know in 2010, she said, Harris admitted, yeah, I am a radical. But that was 14 years ago. So, I don't want to hold, maybe she's changed since then. So let's just talk about some of her recent policy positions, where she stands on the issues, what she's done in the last, 4 or 5 years. But before I get started with that, I do want to ask if you like this video or this kind of video, if you enjoy patriotic MAGA voices on left-wing platforms like Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're watching this, I would humbly ask you to like, comment, and subscribe, even share. All of those things really help a lot. All right, so back to the show. Kamala's political positions. So in more recent years, in 2020, Kamala Harris encouraged people to contribute to something called the Minneapolis Freedom Fund, which was a bail fund created to free violent rioters who were arrested during the BLM murder riots of 2020. One of those people that they freed while he was out on bail for violent protesting, out on bail, he murdered someone. So she encouraged people to give to things like this. Also, even if someone didn't murder someone, if people are being arrested for attacking the cops and all that stuff, isn't that an insurrection? I mean, why would you tell people to contribute to a bail fund to free people that were caught being violent or arsonistic or whatever, or rioting or looting? But anyway, right off the bat, that's a red flag. She also, when Kamala served as San Francisco's district attorney, she was weak on crime. She also protected, I won't say violently, but she fiercely protected the criminals that were arrested in San Francisco from being deported. I guess the idea being that San Francisco, that's an interesting Freudian slip, but San Francisco was a sanctuary state. So even if they had a violent criminal in San Francisco, they would not turn them over to ICE for deportation. And that was under her. That was her policy. She also, speaking of pro-criminal policy, she supported the Defund the Police movement in 2020. And she also applauded the Los Angeles mayor after they slashed police funding in 2020 by $150 million. So she supports Defund the Police and specifically supported that cut of $150 million. She also, we just talked about ICE, but yes, she supports abolishing ICE. She also supports defunding ICE. So not just the police department, she wants to defund ICE. She also wants to give, as a senator in California, she doesn't just support not deporting illegal aliens. She wants to give them benefits and tax money from hardworking American taxpayers. In other words, she supports, and which California does give, basically, if you're an illegal alien and you come to California, you can get free medical, Medi-Cal, they call it. But it's basically Medicare for all, but it's on a statewide basis, not federal. Kamala also does support Medicare for all, which would abolish private insurance. But yeah, like I said, in California, she's fine with giving housing benefits, food stamps, and free medical care to illegal aliens. So once again, no judgment on it, but I'm just saying this is where she stands on the issues. As far as taxes, you're talking about all these taxes. Besides giving away your tax money to illegal aliens in various programs, she wants the regular taxpayers to pay more in taxes. She opposed Donald Trump's tax cuts. And then in regard to Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's 70% income tax rate idea, Kamala says it was, quote unquote, fantastic. I don't know about you. I don't think it's fantastic, but just saying where she stands on the issue. She also owns, as the borders are, the open border. Since she's been put since Kamala's been in charge of our border, or put in charge of it by Joe Biden under the Biden-Harris administration, more than 10 million illegal immigrants have illegally entered the United States. Kamala Harris even said the border was secure, quote unquote, just days after Lake and Riley's killer illegally crossed that border. So that's just some of the policies. Here's another policy. We're getting near the end. Kamala policy does not align with most American values that she wants to control what you can eat. Part of her Green New Deal, part of being enamored with the Green New Deal, she wants to change the country's dietary guidelines to reduce the amount of red meat that people are allowed or encouraged to eat. She also called for, speaking of the Green New Deal, when the Green New Deal was in the Senate, it was filibustered, so it couldn't be voted on. She wanted that filibuster ended, and she did want the Green New Deal to pass. So anyway, all that to some of her positions. So I guess all this stuff, it's not really surprising that she was rated, while in the Senate, the most far left senator in all of America, even to the left of Bernie Sanders. So I don't know. That's just not even my thought. That's just some of her policies. Personally, I think a little bit far left. But yeah, what do you guys think? Is it are Kamala's policies aligned with American values, with Americans, or is she a far left radical simply pretending to be a centrist to get elected? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is Neo News Network. Good day.